Hello there. If you haven't been paying attention, I'm an I'm an alternate version of your host, Weird Rock, the evil comic geek, and I've trapped your regular host in this pathetic power ring. So now, I'm in charge now. And what better way to start off with my DC's New 52? Oh yes, especially because this month is Villains Month. Now off the bat is Bizarro. Now weirdly enough, this is actually a really good. This is actually a really good story. Actually, it connects to Forever Evil in a sense. The only downside is Bizarro is not in this frickin' book. What's up with that? You can't have a Bizarro book without Bizarro. It's just weird. Still, it's not a bad read. It's not a bad read like how Bizarro gets started. That's actually really cool, and you get to see a prototype Bizarro. Still, it's just not Bizarro there is what upsets me. Also, for the fact Superman is a total dick. He is a total dick. If you don't give me back my Cape Luthor, I'll snap your neck. He is just nuts. I'm like, what the hell's going on? What? No, but again, like Bizarro fans who want to see a starting point on the New 52's Bizarro's origins, pick this up. You won't be disappointed. Up next, Cyborg Superman. Now, Cyborg Superman, this is a weird one to say. Like, okay, he's a villain for Supergirl, like, recently. And after you read this comic, you'll actually understand he makes a better Supergirl villain than a Superman villain. He's not Hank Henshaw, so if you were hoping for classic Cyber Superman fans, be disappointed. But I kind of like this new version. For one, it connects more to Superman than you think. Like, also, spoilers! It's, Cyber Superman is Jor-El, Superman's uncle. And if you have seen him, you kind of figure, how the hell did he become Cyborg Superman? He's freaking blonde. How does he even look like him? Well, you can all thank Brainiac for that one. For he finds him barely alive and cannibalizes him. Well, not cannibalizes him. He basically turns him into a cyborg and alters him to make him look like his younger brother, which his brother looks like his son, Superman. And weirdly enough, Brainiac dresses Cyber Superman as Superman, so that's really weird. Although this actually works for a one-shot story. It's not connected to Forever Evil, but I enjoy it. Also, you get to see how alone he is. So Cyborg Superman is a must read for Superman fans. And next up, and if you're all probably dreading this, well, too bad. Darkseid. Yes, Well, too bad. Now, we only seen Darkseid in the, if you haven't seen Darkseid in New 52, he only appeared in the first story arc of Justice League, which there really wasn't much to say. And for people who know what New Gods are, some are kind of cringing at that, but it's not bad. I know, weirdly enough, a Darkseid story, that's not bad. Wow. Gosh darn, wow. Basically, the story starts with Darkseid, who's not a god. And basically, he kills the old god, well, most of the old gods, and inherits their powers. And basically, that's how he becomes Darkseid. But that's not the whole story. That's how he becomes Darkseid. I do like the fact that him and the High Father are related in a way, and High Father is the leader of the good new gods. In case for some who don't know who he is, I like how they're both really like High Father is the brother-in-law to Darkseid, and I do like how different they are, even though they do have like similarities, and you can tell the similarities by just looking at them. I'm not even kidding. If you find an old picture of Darkseid and the current picture of Highfather, you can see a similarity. Not kidding. Still, it's a good Darkseid story, and it does connect to why he's invading dimensions, and also how it also connects to the new Batman Superman comics, which are amazing. Mostly because I like the villain, the Trickster, who's not really always called the Trickster, but she also has this creepy Halloween face on the back of her head. It's just and also wherever she goes, Darkseid tries to follow and take her down. At the same time, he's seeing alternate dimensions and destroying them. And basically has a room full of dead Supermen. Yeah, that's creepy. But in a fun, menacing way. Other than that, pick this up because it does connect to. It also connects to the Earth for those of you who are Earth 2 fans. So the Darkseid issue is a must-read. Next up, and even I can't believe I'm reviewing this because, in all honesty, I'm not a big fan of this villain, but it's still not a bad read. The villain I'm talking about is Desaad. Now, the weirdest thing about Desaad is that he is not a villain for the Earth 2 comics. He's a villain for the world's finest comics. So in all honesty, I don't know why he's part of the Earth 2 title, but oh well. Still, it's kind of a fun read, and you get to see. It's at the same time, this is like a prequel before like the world's finest comic starts. So you get to understand where certain villains that Power Girl and Huntress were fighting, other than that, you get to see how devoted to Darkseid he is, like really devoted. Like he'll be on his knees and bowing to Darkseid. Other than that, for those of you who are reading The World's Finest, pick this up because it does connect to the story and why Desaad does what he does in his predicament. And for those of you who are big Flash fans, this is a must-read. Grodd. And yes, I know he is upside down. Now, like Gorilla Grodd, for this particular issue, it also connects to Forever Evil, which is a good thing. Yeah, and also for people who have been reading the Flash comics, it kind of somewhat continues because in the previous story arc, there was a huge war between the Flash's city and Gorilla Grodd's city, Gorilla City. Yeah, they're not big on really cool names now, are they? I like this because Grodd comes in with his mental powers, which is a plus, but he has super speed. And he got that from being trapped in the Speed Force. Yeah, it's a little weird for Gorilla to have super speed, but at least he literally, since he's been freed by the crime syndicate, he basically takes control of the city and takes down any villain that wants to help. He basically has that whole Doctor Doom complex. He basically conquers he conquers what he wants. He takes what he wants, but then he just gets bored and leaves. Which I know sounds weird, but it's still a fun read. If you can pick this up, pick it up because it's actually because you won't feel lost. It's a bit dark, so I wouldn't show this to children, unless you want to scar them. Then show it anyway. Yeah, Gorilla Grodd, fun read, and also it leads to a After Forever Evil miniseries, which we will find out in the weeks to come, I assure you. Next, and you all were probably expecting this, Joker. Now, the Joker comic, this is debatable. If like some people might really like this because it is a fun read. Some might not like it because this isn't Joker's origins. In fact, we may never know his origins. He has a lot of origins, and he just keeps on switching to each and every one. Here we get to find like the Joker takes part in the origins of a character that only appeared in 2 issues out of the entire Batman franchise. Which is really weird, I assure you. If you've never read Batman issue 666 or the latest the latest Batman Incorporated series, issue 5, I believe it is, you see like this this very dark, hellish future where Damian Wayne is Batman, which will never happen because of DC. No, basically, one of Damian Wayne's rogues gallery as Batman was this talking ape in a clown costume called Jackanapes, which he only talked in the second issue. He didn't talk in the first one, which makes a lot of sense because the writer for this issue is the guy who drew Batman issue 666, so he probably didn't know. The writer for this comic is Andy Kubert, which, if you haven't read comics as much as I have, he is a comic book artist who as of late has done some DC stuff. One of them being stuff done by Grant Morrison. And for a Jackanapes origin, it's not bad because it does show his origins, but doesn't leave any comic panel time for the Joker. Which I'm part of people who really like this because it's fun and it's a really fun read, and I love the line that Joker says, "We're like Batman and Robin, only more handsome." Again, this is a fun read, and I really do hope that it actually leads to a Jackanapes story arc in the Batman series, because that would be so awesome to read. Next up, Poison Ivy. Now for Poison Ivy, and I actually went on the web in this dimension and found out not a lot of people liked this issue because they thought it was pretty boring. It is connected to Forever Evil, and basically it has Poison Ivy really using her powers all over Gotham City and just killing random people from left and right, and most of them being bad guys. Anyway, if you're a Poison Ivy fan, this is a fun read for an origin story, while at the same time being a tie-in to Forever Evil. I know this is New 52, and I know people always complain about people complain a lot about New 52. I like Poison Ivy's new costume, although I don't like Harley Quinn's. Weirdly enough. Anyway, I'm going off topic. For Poison Ivy, you get to see how she became what she is, and I actually like that. Although personally, my only complaint is that they should have showed more of how she got her powers. You do see it, but only one tiny panel in the page. That's really disappointing. Other than that, It's not bad. It's actually a fun read. If you're like, this would actually make you interested in Poison Ivy. I don't like personally. I think the other actual comic book reviewing companies like I think it's overrated in that it's a bad comic. I think it's actually a good comic. The art's really good, and it actually just shows Poison Ivy doing what she does. So pick it up. It's not bad. Now, last and not least, the last comic I will show for this part of this week. And no, it's not the Creeper. Personally, I think that was a bad idea making the Creeper supervillain, especially if it's not even Jack Ryder. What gives? This issue is Relic. Now, for Relic, he recently came a few months right after the whole Wrath of the First Lantern. He's not my favorite Green Lantern villain, mostly because he comes off as a Gary Stu. Well, not the kind of Gary Stu that makes people makes people like, oh, he is the best character ever. He's related to everyone, and basically he's all powerful. No one can stop him. He's not well loved. In fact, people are curious who he is. Other people are going he shouldn't exist, or he has Galactus origin, so to speak. He survived the Big Bang, which that is amazing if you're a DC fan. You get to see the Source Wall and the beginning of the DC Universe time. You know, the giant hand closing in on its weird universe thing. It's really amazing. It is pretty cool. You get to see what the previous universe looks like, which apparently all Green Lanterns were called lightsmiths, and they carried staffs. In fact, they weren't even recorded an entire species. They all looked copies of the same. Crying shame. And it's okay. It's not a great comic like all the others. Personally, I would read Poison Ivy over this. But if you want to understand Relic more, I suggest it. He still comes up as Gary Stu. He comes out of this anomaly, and yes, there's an anomaly in the universe that no one knew of until recently. He can drain all the Lantern powers, and apparently he survived the previous universe, and basically no one apparently can stop him. Again, he comes off as a Gary Stu, like Gregory Stark or the Sentry in Marvel. Why can't I get a perfectly flawed supervillain? Hell, Gog was actually a perfectly good supervillain. But again, if you want to read, if you are kind of planning on reading on next month's Green Lantern crossover, yeah, because we can't get enough of the Green Lantern crossovers. Can't I just read on a single series issue, not buy all the other issues? Still, if you wanted to get to know Relic more, you can read it. It's not one of my favorites. Again, I'm your evil. And thank you all for watching. I'm your evil comic geek. And until next time, I'm going to be torturing my alternate version.